Every year I make this mistake of creating a laundry list of things to do and to complete in 365 days. And not only is that extremely anxiety inducing, it creates this level of expectation that I am not accustomed to. If you're new to the channel, my name is Sydney. In the spirit of the new year, I really wanted to have a conversation about goal setting. I'm doing it differently this year. And as you guys know, I love to share with you as I am learning myself. I want to talk about the reason why I'm not reinventing myself this year. I made a video talking about the importance of habits and how habits are created over time. They're not something that you set a resolution for and immediately you can hop right into. I think they say it takes 30 days to solidify a new habit. So when it comes to goal setting, we can't just hop in and say that we're going to start a new thing that we have never really done before. I think something I'm really trying to work on in this new year is slow progress. So when we think of the term slow progress, it can automatically feel like stagnancy. When we think of things progressing, I think oftentimes we think of them happening in a way that's very linear, right? Point A gets you to point B, and point B gets you to point C, and so on. But that's not really how the journey works. That's not how things manifest. That's not how life works, really. When I even think of my own journey, my journey has not been linear. So it doesn't really make sense for me to create goals that are linear. I think when we're creating goals, we have to also account for human error. Slow progress allows us to be more sustainable in our pursuit to achieving new things. In an article written on LinkedIn, the work platform of all work platforms, slow progress is a path that allows us to build a solid foundation, learn valuable lessons, and ultimately reach our goals more effectively and sustainably. I think now when I'm creating goals, I want them to be sustainable. I want to give myself things that are easily attainable, but also just out of reach enough to where it will actually be a challenge for me to go after that thing. So in the case of reinventing myself, I'm not really reinventing myself this year. I think it's really important to know what season you're in. Some seasons are for growth and development and for achievement and for working hard towards your goals and pushing yourself to achieve new things. Sometimes it's not the season for that. It can also be the season for rest. It can be the season for researching or experiencing more. And as a creative person, I think the social landscape has taught us to create on demand. However, creativity is something that ebbs and flows. So last year, I had gotten to a point where I really was burnt out. I realized the importance of seasons. My best work comes after a season of rest. It comes after a season of me taking time and space to really just exist a little bit more before I can pour out. I think something that I'm trying to teach myself to do a little bit better is to pause when I'm on yellow. You guys know how like in elementary school, we used to have like cards, red, yellow, and green. And when you were good, you had the green card. But when you were on yellow, that means you need to relax. And I think that's where I'm at. If I get to a place where I'm on yellow, I'm taking a break. I'm not gonna push myself to my limit because that's not sustainable. That doesn't allow me to keep on going, and that doesn't allow me to recharge and pick back up where I left off. So I'm really trying to be more intentional about how I'm placing my creative energy. It's not always about reinventing the wheel. Sometimes your creativity calls for something else, and that's okay. So I want to try a few new things this year as I'm creating new goals. One of them is the 12-week year. I haven't read the book yet, but I've been seeing it all over social media, and I think the premise of it is basically creating goals that you can achieve within 1 quarter, right? And some people prefer to just erase the whole idea of like quarterly planning when approaching this, but some people actually do think of it as quarterly planning itself. And I think for me, as a corporate girly, that makes the most sense. I'm not really thinking of this as something I need to rush out the gate with. I think we're accustomed to going really hard out the gate. And then towards the end of the year, that's when we start to hit that holiday burnout and everyone's done, no one's really working. And you know, coming off of that, since it's now the new year, I realized that's not how I want my year to go. I want there to be a lot more sustainability with the way that I move this year. So instead of that, I'm gonna give myself 12 weeks to test and to learn. I have 3 main goals that I wanna reach, but if I don't, at the end of those 12 weeks, instead of being upset that I didn't achieve those goals, I'm gonna go back and assess why. A lot of the time when we're creating new goals, we forget the most important part: to assess, to audit, and to analyze. So now when I'm approaching my goal setting, I'm also making sure that my goals are measurable. I wanna also make sure that I can kind of see what led me from point A to point B. So that way I can go back and maybe change my systems, change my habits, change the way that I approach this goal, change my mindset around this goal, because these are the things that are going to help me to achieve it. So to wrap this up, I know it is such a cliche saying, but you really have to enjoy the journey. There's no getting around it. And trust me, I have tried to find a way around. Up, down, left, right, somewhere. There is no other way around it than through it, God willing. But we're gonna have more and more years. We're gonna have more and more goals. So that means we have to create sustainable ways of approaching them. I'm not waiting until the end of my journey to celebrate myself. I'm gonna make it a point to cheer myself on along the way, because the best part is the journey, not the destination. Please let me know in the comments below what are some of the goals that you're looking to achieve this year. I'm really excited for what 2024 has to offer. Welcome back to the channel. Yeah, I missed you guys. So let's talk soon. All right, thank you for watching.